hits full and covers all 4 pins with the ball. It's the way it's done.
So there's a 3-pin differential in these two bowlers. Redsek is on the downside of that. And he misses the head pin there as he bowls in the 7th frame.
He's just a little too deep on both lanes. By deep, I mean he's too far towards the center of the lane. He needs to move a little bit to the right and get a little more angle into the pocket. He's playing somewhere around the 12th or 13th board, and he needs to be out playing around the 8th or 9th board.
Dave Redsek trying to get his spare here on the 1, 2, 4, 8. And he does it the right way right here in the 7th frame.
This is still a pretty close match. It's anybody's ball game. It's just a matter of who doesn't make the first mistake.
That's right.
Well, they both kind of followed along with what each other has been doing here. Both started spare strike, and then both had an open in the 3rd. And now they're regrouping a little bit. And Bill Duncan is working on a couple of spares in a row after a strike. And he found his strike ball again.
That was the best ball he threw in the whole match. He slowed his speed down a little bit and got a little bit better roll on that. He also went outside just a little bit farther, just like Dave should do.
Yes, he had a good angle on that. If you can pick up the color of the finger inserts that he has in his ball as they go down the lane, you can see the difference in the revolutions.
Bill Duncan with a 7-pin lead through 6. He's working on a strike, and Dave Redsek on a spare in the 7th. Seventh pin stands.
Good break, bad break. Threw the ball a little bit tight. Could have possibly carried, but he didn't get the action with the pin. You can see a pin come off the wall or the cushion and try to hit the 7, but it doesn't quite get it. It takes the 4 out, and it dies right in front of the 7. Could have been a big break there. Would have been a double.
And he gets the 7. He threw that one every bit as hard as he has any ball in this match.
And we may need a new set of pins after this match.
So in the 8th frame now, Dave Redsek would like to ease just a little bit closer with a strike. He's only had 2 through the first 7.
Yeah, a good break here or a bad break, mistake's going to mean the difference in this match. Well, Roy's consistent.
Yeah, he's made the same mistake every time. He's in the 8th frame, and he really hasn't made that big of an adjustment yet. That's what I was saying earlier. They make exactly the same mistakes we do, the amateur bowlers. They just haven't learned to adjust soon enough. You know, he might wait, so well, I'll wait until the next game. Well, why wait till the next game, you know?
There may be no next game.
Yeah, in this case, like this, he will get to play another game.
You know, Roy, you made an excellent point as it applies to the Pro Tour, which you've been on for many years, and that is the pressure of bowling in the televised finals, especially in the stepladder type format. And to have been rewarded, it's pretty much in the same sense here. These gentlemen have bowled several games to qualify and get this far. And to have been rewarded with a spot here, but yet to have to make those quick adjustments, it really is a lot on a bowler.
Oh, there's a lot of mental pressure. You really try not to think that much. You want what you've learned and all your practice should come into being right there. You shouldn't have to think about it. It should be automatic. And the more you practice and the better prepared you are, the more automatic it'll become, and the better you should just automatically do. But practice makes perfect. There's just no substitute for it, and it all shows up in a position just like this.
Well, he leaves himself too far to the right on the 2-4-5 and chops it.
Yes, that's not easy, spare. Anytime you have a cluster of pins, you leave more than one pin, you're in trouble. You have to play the shot very well to convert the spare. 2 pins, you can cover both with the ball. If you leave 3 pins, then you have difficulty because one of the pins has to combine with another pin in order to convert the spare, and there's a little bit of luck involved there.
So Bill Duncan, if he can mark right here in the 9th, can really boost his lead. There's a big, big strike. So he has a lead of 11 through 8, but he's working on a strike in the 9th, and Redzek has the open frame.
Yes, when you need a good shot, you can't do it any better than this. Excellent angle, excellent roll, good reaction. Rips him off the deck. Looks like he had a rope on him and he yanked him into the pits.
Redzek can bowl a 178, while Duncan can just about wrap things up with a spare and in high count on his last ball in the 10th. Ooh, he's in trouble.
Oh, and
he got the 5-pin out.
The AMF machine give him the opportunity for that pin to roll out. There's a time delay on the pin setters. As you can see here, he comes in light. He gets the mix off the wall, but the pin comes through and goes around the front of the 5. But yet, the machine delays long enough for the pin to grab the deck and change directions. It rolls over and taps the 5 out.
So now he shoots the 7. Converts it.
Bill has excellent timing. He has a good potential to be a very good bowler. Right now, when we see a young player come out on a tour like this, we say he has a lot of raw talent.
Yeah.
And that's about right where Bill is right now. He has quite a bit of raw talent, and he needs to bowl a little bit more, get a little bit of help, and I'm sure he could be an excellent player. He could average over 200 with no problem.
Well, he's won this match as of right now, but he gets a strike just for good measure. So Bill Duncan goes out with a 190.
Yes, another excellent shot. With the momentum, the foot speed, the arm swing, the strength of the bowler, what power. Quite a replay there.
Dave Redzek, now that the pressure is off, he finds a strike ball in the 10th.
Say, Roy, who didn't know that?
Yeah, that's perfect. That's just like your fill ball. You strike all the time on the fill ball.
Yeah.
He's finally moved a little bit farther to the right. He had that ball out around that 7th, 8th board, and it just walked right back into the pocket.
Yeah, he got it out far enough where he got the reaction that he needed to get him to the pocket and carry.
Besides being about 9 frames, he's about 20 minutes late.
Yes.
And once again, he goes back to the same old problem, leaving the ball too far out to the right. But it should have been a valuable learning experience for Dave Redzek.
There's a little bit of work on Dave's fundamentals. His body position at the time of release is not well. It needs a little bit of work. And I think if he could stay in a more upright position, his accuracy on his first ball would be much better.
Dave Redzek with a strike and spare there in the 10th finishes at 168. So Bill Duncan is the winner of our second match today. Duncan with a 190. Redzek 168. Duncan advances. He has the possibility of being our HSE Amateur Bowler of the Month. We'll be back to talk with our bowlers right after this. Well, Dave Redzek has joined us, and Dave, tough match for you. Everything was nip and tuck through about the first 4 frames. You had a sleeper on that 2-8 that you'd probably like to have converted.
Oh, yeah. Just bad mistakes, that's all. Just mistakes, not getting the ball out far enough.
You were looking for that strike ball coming down the stretch there. You finally found it in the 10th frame, so you would have liked to have seen that a little bit earlier, no doubt.
Yes, I would have.
Ross, he did a nice job of recovering there in the 10th frame, and good job of learning on the lanes, at least.
Yes, he did. As in any other sport, I think experience is the best way to learn. And today, I think we were talking before were doing the interview here, and he mentioned he didn't like to play outside, that he was more accustomed to inside. But I think you learned today that you must play where the lane tells you to play.
How about the lane conditions out here? Were they changing on you?
Not really, not really. It's just that I didn't get the ball out far enough, and I wasn't given it time to react. So.
Your first experience on TV bowling?
Yes, it is.
How did you find it?
It's warm.
Tough to deal with, yes it is. But no doubt you did learn a good deal from the experience. We were happy to have you, and continued good luck in the future.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Dave Redzak. Good luck to you. Let's get our winner up here, Bill Duncan. Bill, you've been with us before here on the HSE Amateur Bowlers Tour. You throw that ball pretty hard. You don't ever want to ease up on that thing, do you?
It's my natural habit, the way I throw the ball. If I slow the ball down, I run into trouble a little bit.
Well,
How much speed? Rudy said something about sending you a bill for breaking pins.
Speaking of breaking pins, you got a nice pin action there on that 5-7 to kick it out when you needed it there in the 10th, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I was just hoping that I can keep the ball in the pocket and not split. But as it wound up, the ball deflected a little bit and didn't help me. But I got a break.
Did you have the feeling coming down the latter part of the match that you really couldn't find yourself and you're just kind of waiting for a break?
Just a little bit. I was fishing there for about the first 2 or 3 frames, and then once I finally dropped the ball down outside, it was coming in pretty good.
And the experience has served you well of being on HSE and television before. You more relaxed and at ease this time?
Yeah, a little bit relaxed, but still shaky.
I don't know if he's that shaky when he throws the ball. He looks pretty strong to me, Ross.
And when he picks the ball up and steps on the approach, I think the shakiness sort of leaves for a while until he releases the ball. As long as you're thinking about your game and not about the surroundings, it's much better.
How'd you feel out there overall?
I was a little bit shaky because I was down a couple pins and I was trying to make them up at the time, and just the breaks just kept falling.
You watch that scoreboard all the time?
I was watching it for the last 5 frames, trying to just keep myself in front and get up.
Well, you did a nice job there coming down the stretch, and we want to congratulate you, and we'll be seeing you again as you advance here this month.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Bill. Nice job. Bill Duncan, our winner. He bowled a 190, and Dave Redzak a 168 in that match. You know, if you're a member of the Greater Pittsburgh Amateur Bowlers Association, you're eligible to compete in any of the upcoming HSE Amateur Bowlers Tour events. Now let's take a look at where the tour will be in the months ahead. Spring training is just around the corner for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and that means the Pirates are just around the corner on Home Sports Entertainment. HSE will bring you more than 70 games this season, starting in April. Get ready for a full season of Pirates baseball right here on Home Sports Entertainment. And get ready for our next match. It'll be Rob Wagner against Art Rossi. Now, these two gentlemen qualified right here at Melody Lanes. Rob Wagner up first is 22 years old, works for a fire protection company. Actually, he bowls out of Miracle Lanes. He's been bowling for about 10 years. And he finished the #1 qualifier after the stepladder final. Actually, he was seated #4 in the stepladder and climbed it all the way up to finish 1. And he leaves
Rob's come out with a good shot out of the gate, right to the pocket.
He has a handicap of 22, and Art Rossi's handicap 19.
Another evenly matched game.
You know, we've had that more recently in the last few months, Ross, rather than some of the wide disparities between handicaps we had in the early months.
So basically, it's probably just a coincidence because regardless whether you average at the 150 level or the 195 level, you have just as much chance to get here as anybody else.
Art Rossi, 40 years old, is a carpenter superintendent, bowls out of Rosedale Lanes. He's only been bowling about 4 years. Whoa, what a start.
There goes another set of pins.
Art was kidding us beforehand. He's kidding himself about wearing the suspenders, saying some Hollywood talent scout is going to spot me wearing these suspenders.
Yes,
here.
I mentioned that to Roy. We were talking about what kind of ruling they'd make on the PBA Tour about a bowler bowling on a telecast with suspenders.
I don't think our TV coordinator would allow this.
And he crosses over and gets another one.
Yeah, Art tried both sides. Had excellent results on both shots. You can see here where he's definitely pulled the ball inside the target area that he's trying to get to. Goes through the third rangefinder and immediately to the Brooklyn pocket, but he hits it as good as you can on that side.
Rob Wagner working on a spare. He crosses over and gets one.
Yeah, Rob was watching.
Monkey see, monkey do. That happens a lot. You'd be surprised how much that happens.
It's like they implant a mental thought in the game. He said he just went Brooklyn, he said, and you get up on the approach thinking about the other guy throwing a Brooklyn, you do it yourself.
Bob is playing pretty much the proper angle. He's a little bit farther to the right than some of the other players. And he's playing lanes just about right. Whether he makes the shot or not, right?
Yes, he's standing in the proper position, but you still have to execute, which I believe on the tour is one of the main things that the average bowler doesn't realize, that you must execute your shot the same way. You have to do everything, your approach, your arm swing, your speed.